Coach Osborne, you had a couple of tricks in the first half. You opened it wide up. Do you have any more of those tricks for us in the second half?
We got some more tricks. We just got to quit turning the ball over. You know, when you're down 3 turnovers to Florida State, or maybe lucky it isn't worse. But if we can hang on the ball this half, I think we can get some things done. And we'll find out what we're made of now. They're a good football team.
All right, best of luck to you the second half, Coach. Thank you. Charlie?
Thank you, Jimmy. I think, Merlin, they're both good football teams.
I don't think there's any question about that, Charlie. The important thing, and I think Tom Osborne hit it very quickly, the turnovers. Yep. When you turn the ball over, especially when you're a ball-controlled team, a rushing team, all their success really during the year has come out of the fact that they could establish that run game, and then they can throw the play-action pass. They have had big plays in the first half, and some of them have been surprises. A couple of really out-of-character things, if you will, from Tom Osborne.
But Bobby Bowden told us that he got the name Ruski from Tom Osborne.
He certainly did, and that was a number of years ago, and he's added to that name. In fact, we had some of the Ruskis in that first half.
We did.
Let's give you a chance to look at him.
And right
Stiggy,
in the beginning,
the punter, throwing right here, and very first series, an outstanding way to start for Nebraska as they took a situation and turned it around. Now, watch the lateral on the kickoff. Bowden coming right back with a Ruski of his own. Dossie up the field. Good field position. And here the final Ruski, the handback pass. Unfortunately, this one turned the other way. The ball was intercepted right there by Grant, who took it down the sideline, setting up points for the Florida State Seminoles.
And here's a look at the halftime statistics. First downs even. Nebraska rushing almost 2-1. Florida State passing almost 2-1. The total yards 306 to 232. Turnovers, boy, that's the big number. Big number that jumps out to you. Nebraska has only fumbled 4 times in the last 4 games. They've already fumbled 4 times in the first half.
We heard Tom Osborne say that they had only turned the ball over 3 times in their last 5 games. His concern coming in, ball security. They've had problems here in the first half. They don't need any more.
And Florida State will have the first opportunity in the second half as Chris Drennan will be kicking off to either Dexter Carter or Lawrence Dossie. And this Dossie at the 7. And he is out to the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Let's recap the scoring in the first half. Gadowski to Gregory, a 9-yard touchdown pass. Nebraska went up 7-0. There was a Ruski involved in the drive. Willis to Anthony, 14 yards. We were then tied in the second quarter at 7-7. Chris Drennan, a 39-yard field goal, but Nebraska back on top by 3. Willis to Johnson from 5 yards out, and then he does it again to Dexter Carter from 10 yards away. So Peter Tom Willis with 3 touchdown passes in the first half. He wants to set a screen. Oh, and he was in trouble. Dexter Carter was the intended receiver, and he was surrounded by Cornhuskers. Tahan Lewis was putting the pressure on Peter Tom.
Here comes the blitz from the far side. You saw number 5, Tahan Lewis, streaking in. It's a screen pass. The play was destroyed. They had 2 people sitting on the intended receiver, and Willis just threw it away. Peter Tom got up and he said, boy, how did they read that one so well? Were they in our locker room at the half?
There's a leak. There's a leak in the locker room. They know what our first play is. Play action fake, pump fake. He throws it up. It's going to hang, and it's incomplete. Oh, and he was nailed. Woo!
Boy, he is down and flat on his back. He took a great shot on the outside.
Bruce Pickens. Was it Bruce Pickens that got him? Number 38. I believe that's the one.
Blitz. 90. No, it's 88. Mike Kroll, the linebacker, left that game early.
Ooh.
Steamrollered, if you will. The one thing that Bobby Bowden talked about, he said, we cannot afford not to have our quarterback protected. So much of what we do depends on the ability to get time for Peter Tom Willis.
You know something, though? What I like about that hit, it was a hard, tough, fair football hit. It really was. He comes back throwing to Terry Anthony. May have the first down.
He's going to be very close. It's all in the mark, Charlie. I think he's just going to be short by about a half a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down.
No, it'll be short.
Is he marking first down? No,
yeah. Well, let's see.
I think they may measure that. No, they're not going to measure. It's first down.
First down.
All
He's
right.
got it.
They got better eyes than I have.
Nobody has better eyes
Oh,
than
well.
you have. You can read the signs from the other side of the field.
They have that marker off the edge of the field, and I was looking at it as if it was on the edge. You see how far it is?
Yeah.
It changes the angle a little bit for us.
Pressure. Ooh, almost intercepted. He came back to the right side to Ronald Lewis.
Peter Tom Willis wanted to go left. He wanted to get it out to Terry Anthony. Anthony was covered, came back and flicked it to the right. Watch him. He looks left, and comes back. Threw it into coverage there.
But notice when he came back, he was looking right in the face mask of Jeff Mills, too. That can distract you when you throw it.
Against Florida, they were burned by the blitz. They're going to have to go through some short passes to take the heat off here.
Second down. And Dexter Carter is going to pick up just a couple of yards to the 35. It'll be third down and 8.
One of the interesting things about this Florida State team, so many of these youngsters come from Florida. 54 of them, Charlie. There are 10 from Georgia, 4 from Alabama, and 4 from other states. Includes one player who came down from Philadelphia, but he had lived down in Florida before he came down to play for them. Kind of a homegrown troop.
Mike Petco and Mike Crow on the last tackle. Then breaking out in front of the screen, Ronald Lewis set a screen. Everybody looked for a screen, and then Lewis took off. Pickens with the tackle.
This Florida State team just continues to attack. And I said it earlier, Charlie, I think it's easier to get a team ready to play in a bowl that relies on specific skills and big plays than it is a team that is a scheme team that relies on getting everyone up to speed. Great play. Great reception. That ball is perfectly thrown and lofted. Watch Peter Tom Willis hang this one up.
Kent Wells with the pressure. Lewis then had single coverage by Pickens, and he got a step on it.
Poise under pressure.
Dexter Carter. 33 yards on the pass play to the 32. Mike Murray with the tackle. And this will go to the 31. It'll be second down.
Charlie McBride, defensive coordinator for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, told me earlier today that he said we really have to shut down their running game. We want to make them one-dimensional if possible. This Florida State team, there's Charlie McBride, a shadow of his former self, has lost about 50 pounds, says he feels great. Well, he doesn't feel so good right now. They need to shut down Florida State's attack.
Second down. Here's the draw. Amp Lee, the freshman, with some great moves, a fumble and a scramble for the ball at the end.
We've got a holding call against Florida State. Now,
Pat
is
Tyrants with the tackle.
if it's a fumble and a recovery by Nebraska, the ball will go over. No, they're saying the ball was down.
It was down. And a holding penalty against the Seminoles. Tyrants recovered the ball.
This kind of penalty would really put most teams in trouble. We saw Florida State with a 1st and 40. Boy, nice play, Amp Lee.
Offensive team.
Holding on the offensive team.
Let's see if we can spot the hold inside. Or 70 Yeomans, perhaps? Really hard to tell, Charlie. Really hard to tell.
Good moves by the freshman, and the ball was popped loose. Again, not reviewable. And it's second down.
Second down and 20.
Well, 19. Peter Tom Willis. And it's incomplete. Edgar Bennett, the intended receiver. Peter Tom went into the locker room with as much confidence as any college quarterback could have. And now the defense has to shake some of that confidence if they can.
He talks about looking back at his lone start of his junior year, a game he had against South Carolina, that, well, their appearance in a bowl game hinged on a win there. You look at his numbers for today. He said it was that day he threw 20 passes, Charlie. He completed 17, threw 2 away, had 1 dropped. He said, whenever I get in trouble, I think back to that and say, hey, I can do it. Well, he certainly has done it.
Play action on 3rd and 19. Into coverage. And it is incomplete. Ronald Lewis, the intended receiver, with Pickens and Bird. Boy, they're getting a workout. We expected them to, and that secondary is being tested.
Well, this passing attack can test you. They threw 6 touchdown passes against Memphis State, 5 of them in 1 quarter.
John Wimberly will be punting, and herein lies the story. Came as a good punter, redshirted because he had a knee injury, not a football injury, reconstructed the knee. They got to find out if he's the man.
If he can't punt, they're going to have to find a new one, but that's a beautiful punt. Whoa, and almost fumble.
Tyrone Hughes takes the fair catch at the 6-yard line. We've got a timeout. Florida State leads it 21-10.
Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by the Sunkist family of products, where you can be sure of the highest quality every time. You have our word on it. By United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. And by Geo. Get to know Geo. Sold and serviced by Chevrolet Geo dealers.
And we talked about the punter, John Wimberly, the reception that he received from his teammates.
Well, he's been through hard times.
He really
Broken
has.
leg, came in, shanked the ball a number of times, lost his starting job, and they have to find out. They said, we're going to test him today. Well, his first kick, a beauty.
Bobby Bowden went to him a year ago and said, keep the scholarship, son, stay in school, but it's not going to come back. And he's worked so hard.
He has worked very hard. Nice story.
Ken Clark.
For Nebraska, Charlie, it's a very simple process. They got to get back on track right now.
And speaking about getting on track, right after this game, Championship Monday continues as we'll be on track right down to the Orange Bowl. Number 1 Colorado taking on number 4 Notre Dame in the ball game that could decide the national champion.
Colorado breaking a 27-year-old stranglehold. Nebraska and Oklahoma, Big 8 championships.
And the whole state of Colorado enjoys the Buffalo's success. Here's the option, and cutting back inside the 15 is Jerry Gutowski.
Charlie, when your team has averaged 6.4 yards per rush all year long, you're not used to getting shut down. This defense for Florida State has been tough against this Nebraska offense today.
And it'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 15-yard line. And the Huskers have made big plays. Flag is down. Ken Clark will pick up the first down. He needed a couple, but let's go back to the flag. It's going to be a motion call against Nebraska.
Big Doug Glazier got moving a little too early from his right tackle position. The All-American, I think, was the man charged for being in motion too quickly. Watch him, right-hand side of your screen. There he is. You see big number 70 just popping that arm around. He's got to pull as they're pulling both the guards in that situation and the tackles to try and get him out in front. Bill Bobora along with him, but it was Glazier who got up a little early.
The Seminoles pointed out in the first 3 games, look at that, 85 points. Last 8 games, only 97. The average dropped. It really dropped.
They have carried that performance into today.
Jerry Godowski, Eric Hayes with the tackle. It looks as if he came up a yard shy of the first down.
Godowski averaged 7.9 per rush on the year, 13 touchdowns rushing. Big E, Billy E, they call him. Boy, he is not moving, and he is such an important part. In fact, a lot of folks who look at that record defensively, and they say that one of the most important things when Billy E got back into shape, came in heavy, and when he got back into shape, he has been a powerful force. You saw him there on that tackle to the outside. His legs just kind of whipped around. I think he'll be all right, Charlie. He'll be back.
And Mike Stiggy will be kicking to Terrell Buckley. And the Seminoles could have excellent field position.
10 men up.
No, they've got a return on. Fair catch.
Short kick.
44-yard line. Only 28 yards on the kick. State has the ball and the lead. We'll be back in a moment.
This new Chevrolet Lumina Coupe just helped Chevy do what no other car company has ever done before. Win the NASCAR Manufacturers Championship for the 7th year in a row. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. There's a thin line between being good and being the best. Over the last 3 decades, Chevrolet's crossed it more than anyone. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
If you feel life's more interesting when you make a splash.
It's the right beer now.
If you feel a great beer starts with great water.
It's the right beer now.
Because you're the kind of person who likes to get to the bottom of things. Call for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
Tonight, NBC's Championship Monday concludes with a primetime showdown. The Federal Express Orange Bowl pits the #1 Colorado Buffaloes against Lou Holtz and the Fighting Irish of #4 Notre Dame in a game that will determine the national championship. The Federal Express Orange Bowl, tonight on NBC.
But before we get to the Orange Bowl on NBC, we still have a second half of action here. Merlin, the bowl experience for the players. When you were in college, you played in 3 bowls?
I was lucky, Charlie. It's the gravy after the season. And a lot of young guys who are looking out there and saying, where do I want to go to school? They're looking for a place that goes to bowl games. Nebraska's been 21 years in a row, and under Bobby Bowden, Florida State is a perennial appearance in the bowl on New Year's Day, a lot of them. And they love the fact that they're going to get a little opportunity to travel around and see the country.
And both teams very proud that they're bowl teams. And this is a one-hopper. Now let's go down to Jimmy Cepolo.
Charlie, technology is indeed in force here on the sidelines. Prior to the game and again at halftime, Jack Pierce, a recruiting coordinator for the University of Nebraska, was on the phone calling recruits. The message, turn on the television because you can find out what Nebraska's all about and maybe be part of it next year. It was a great sales pitch.
Oh, that's really interesting.
There, the redshirt freshmen who have come, and they of course waiting for their turn now for a bowl.
Oh, hey, they recognized her on television.
They saw themselves on TV. Hi, Mom.
2nd and 10. Dexter Carter. He's going to lose the yard. Pat Engelbert, the sophomore from Columbus, Nebraska, makes the tackle. It'll be 3rd down and 11. The 3rd and 11 for Florida State is it's almost nothing. What they had 1st and 40 in the first half.
Not frightening. Not frightening at all.
Good point.
With a quarterback like Peter Tom Willis, so confident in his passing game, good receivers with excellent hands, a good passing scheme, and most importantly, time to throw the football.
And the split backs are Dexter Carter and Amp Lee. And it is to Lee, the freshman. He's not going to make it. A couple of yards shy. Mike Crow makes it. He makes a nice move. He goes out and he came back in.
Now, what do you do here? This is kind of no man's land. You really don't want to punt from here, Charlie. They're going to go for it. And Bowden continues, as he has all day, to gamble in situations where he has a chance. We talked about his love of military history, his respect for Patton and Erwin Rommel, and the fact that he liked their audacity. He said when they were surrounded, they attacked. Well, that's his philosophy. Let's go for it. We came here to win. You know what? I like it.
Rommel, the Desert Fox. Bowden is the Florida Fox. Tipped. First down. Terry Anthony.
Sometimes it just bounces your way. It looked like Kent Wells, number 91, bounced the ball away, but Terry Anthony had it all away. Let's see. Peter Tom flips it. The ball bounces off one of Nebraska's linemen. Well, sometimes you just got to be lucky. Tom Osborne, you got to be kidding me. That's what he was saying right then. It looked like that ball would be intercepted. Most often, it is when it bounces like that.
What a class man Tom Osborne is. First down at the 24. Looping pass and a leaping catch. Terry Anthony again. 23 yards.
Charlie, they call Tyrone Bird T-Bird. The number's 8 on 8 as T-Bird came over to try and help on Anthony on this play. But watch Anthony. He goes up. He takes the ball away. Boy, that is some nice receive. What they say, Bolitnikov hands?
Yes.
You better believe it.
And an alley-oop leaping ability. Whoop. It was 19 yards to the 5. It's first and goal.
Pickens being picked on again today, and the T-Bird was just a little late.
Dexter Carter. Flag down, 4-yard line. Reggie Cooper with the tackle.
So many holding calls, and there's another one against Florida State. If you were with us at the end of the first half, Bobby Bowden angry. He said, I'm not sure who I'm mad at yet. I want to find out in the locker room.
Holding offensive line during the run. 10-yard penalty.
See if we can spot it. It might be Mike Morris, number 60, grabbing on. Bobby Bowden's son walking along with
that's Terry.
There, no, we don't have to say might be in this case. That's a lockup. Number 60, Mike Morris. If it wasn't him, they could have thrown it on him.
And a little note on Bobby's son Terry, who's pulling the wire behind him. He's the head coach at Sanford in Birmingham, and one of his other sons, Jeffrey's the offensive coordinator, and his son-in-law, Jack Hines, is the defensive coordinator. Ooh. Pickens this time with excellent coverage. Anthony, the intended receiver.
Well, you can't go to the well too often. You're going to get yourself burned. That ball hung up again. Watch the end of the play. Pickens with excellent coverage, and he's been right there on most plays today. But Peter Tom Willis so sure of his arm and his receiver that he throws it anyway.
Pickens, though, has to be getting shell-shocked by now.
He has to be. I talked to P.T. Willis about it. I said, you want to play pro ball? He said, I'd love to. I've been dreaming about it since I was a kid. Favorite teams, the Pats and the Denver Broncos. Loves John Elway.
Complete diving into the end zone. No.
I think it looked like a touchdown to me, Charlie.
I think they're going to mark it about a foot short. Jeff Mills, Tyrone Bird.
As he spins toward the end zone, his knee may have touched down.
Mills put the pressure on. Bird makes the stop.
Lawrence Dossey, 4 touchdowns in the regular season. Thought he had another one here. Spins.
Oh, that was close.
Boy, I tell you, I think he had it. Well, it's going to be very close now.
3rd down goal to go. There it is. But the credit goes to Paul Moore. The sophomore from Miami. State goes up 27-10 with the extra point to come.
The danger now, Charlie, you don't want to let a passing team get out too far ahead of you. Nebraska, with a running attack, needs time to get themselves back into the ball game. They better get started pretty quick because Florida State has come out in the second half red hot.
And the extra point is blocked.
Now they can run it back.
It's still live.
Well, now it's dead.
Difference, of course, in college football. That is not. The extra point is not over till it's over.
That's right. If you can scoop that up, if Nebraska gets their hands on this block kick and gets it into the other end zone, it's worth 2 points to them.
Paul Brungard, I believe, is the man who got it. We'll be back in a moment.
Saturday. Then Denver. And Pittsburgh. The AFC Divisional Playoffs. This weekend.
We look forward to this weekend of playoffs. Merle and I will be in Cleveland for that ball game. Bill and Dick will be at Mile High Stadium for the one on Sunday.
Bring your long underwear, Charlie.
Oh, yes. Lots of it.
Another high squib kick.
And Flowers on the return. He's to the 40 and returns near the 45-yard line. The go back to that blocked extra point.
6'7", 265, a junior, Paul Brumgard. Now watch him as he starts forward. The offensive linemen come up underneath him, actually lift him. He reaches high. Boy, he just swats that one down. But you try to put the big man inside. And Brumgard, using all 6'7" and long arms, you see the length of those arms. That ball kicked a little bit low, but he was way up in the air.
Nebraska now first down at their own 44. They need to score here. They need a quick drive. A pick-me-up.
Reverse.
Tight end reverse. William Washington, a tight end Ruski.
Well, I think a tight end reverse. Not many people fooled on that play. Washington will come from the right-hand side of your picture, and look how many Seminoles are waiting for him at the pass. Right there, that's Ostazuski, 74, 44. That's John White, a whole army of them.
And for the season, that is Washington's first rush. Second and 14, pressure on a play-action fake. It's complete to Carpenter. And he's going to pick up about 4 or 5, and he is hit by John White. The continuing story on John White, he comes off, he may have hurt that shoulder a little bit, but on the knee after, he had all the broken leg broken in 7 places, and he worked, and he would go out in the stadium and run at night alone, and the pain was so bad that you could hear him screaming from outside the stadium. A comeback that nobody thought was possible, and yet this young man did it.
They thought he'd never walk without a horrible limp. He's playing football again.
First down and 10. Here's the blitz. Third time that Godowski has been sacked. Anthony Moss got him this time.
Moss and Shelton Thompson. And Charlie, this is the problem you have. If all of your passing attack or your base attack is based on your ability to run the football and then run play action, when you're forced to throw the ball in a drop back situation, you're really not comfortable. And you get taken advantage of like that. Great pass rush. Great pass rush.
And Mike Stiggy will be kicking to Terrell Buckley. And the Seminoles set up as if they're going to pressure. They're coming.
It's recovered by Nebraska, I think.
It'll be Florida State's ball. It was 4th down, a block punt.
That's right. There's no possession on the play. Will be allowed because they turned the ball over.
And John Davis is the man who blocked it, number 18.
They had faked the block earlier by jumping people around.
Boy,
they've got a whole host of people open to the inside. There's the play. Scoop that one up. You have a chance to go in.
And that is his second block of the season.
Florida State known for their ability to block punts. And what, 2 on the year coming in, Charlie? Today. Okay, the second.
His second in this season. Touchdown, Florida State. Reggie Johnson, his second, 8 yards away. Peter Tom Willis is thrown for 4. Extra point is good. And Florida State goes up 34-10.
The block punt puts them in great field position. The precision passing of Peter Tom Willis and a very open Reggie Johnson.
The Seminoles lead it 34-10. At dusk as the Valley of the Sun starts another decade. And Bill Mason will be kicking off to either Leotis Flowers or Tyrone Hughes. High and short. taken by one of the upbacks. And let's go back to the touchdown.
Reggie Johnson right here, just going to sneak through and find a place in the end zone. Peter Tom Willis rolling out to get a little extra time. Will throw it back against the grain. He gets extra time, a little fake inside. Nobody there to contain. And there's the shot to a very open Reggie Johnson.
And the return man, number 35, was Robert Glantz. There's two 35s. The other one is Scott Kurtz. From the 33, first down. And the pass is complete on the far side to Richard Bell. Bill Reagan's with the tackle. Now Nebraska desperately needs to get some offense going.
And number 28, Eric Dodd.
They'll mark it at the 42, a gain of 9. It's going to be second down and 1. But one thing, Merlin, that we can address ourselves to is that Florida State taking over the ball game. The last time that Nebraska scored came with 12 minutes to go in the first half. And if Florida State continues and some other things happen, they have a legitimate claim to being the best collegiate team in the nation. They've really played well. Ken Clark is cut down by Keith Carter.
Charlie, when we talked to Florida State's coaches, they talked about that the fact that their team had come back after those two initial losses, had really built off of the early wins, and had peaked about the time they beat Auburn and Miami in back-to-back ball games. Very, very big ball games. You see Bobby Bowden is drawing plays on the sideline. He said, "Hey, we gotta throw something new at him. We'll draw one up here on the sideline."
It's a first down at the 43. And Clark is tripped up.
Let me finish that thought, Charlie. The coaches felt that this team had kind of peaked after Miami. It did not get any better, and they were worried that they may have lost some of their momentum. Well, they certainly did not. The chemistry has been good today. The big plays that they had hoped to see have really been there, both offensively and defensively. Right now, Tom Osborne needs to see a couple of big plays.
Second and 10 at the 43. John Bostic.
He's going to be very, very close to a first down. Maybe third and short, maybe the first down. Let's see.
Leroy Butler makes the hit.
They expected Bostic to be a redshirt this year, but he came on and really has performed well.
And a crowd of 73,953 at the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl on an absolutely gorgeous day in Tempe, Arizona.
Nice shot from the MetLife blunt.
Third down, about a foot. There's the first down. And Clark had to spin to hang on to the football.
I think we got a face, Charlie, we got a face mask call in there, though. That's going to move it back. Looked like one of the Florida State players just reached out and grabbed the mask. Might have been Big E, Billy E, Eric Hayes.
Incidental face mask, 5 yards. Defensive team, first down.
So the ball will move down to the 38.
It is Eric Hayes, number 78, coming in from the inside. Watch him as he sneaks back inside. He did not use the mask to tackle a man, but that's all he could get his hands on.
First down, Nebraska.
You're
Going deep, double coverage, almost. Morgan Gregory, who has scored the Cornhuskers' only touchdown, the intended receiver, McCorvey, and Dodge had the double coverage.
They wanted the big one here. Monty Kratzenstein had snuck out. He was all alone on the left sideline. Godowski did not see him. Ball just barely overthrown, and Gregory might be hurt. Comes off holding that shoulder.
That's a good pass, though.
It was a good pass. Godowski can throw the football. There's no question about that.
42, 48,
Fumble.
Fumble on the exchange.
We talked about the early snap.
Another turnover. Florida State has it.
Charlie, I think the early snap just burned him again. I think the center had that ball up too quick. Let's see if we can see it.
Watch 93 Sheldon Thomas, who...
That may be unfair to the center, Jake Young, because that ball just never got into the hands of Godowski. Did not look like it was that early as a snap.
4 turnovers by Nebraska. We'll be back in a moment. 9-2, struggling against Southern Mississippi and Clemson, and then LSU, Tulane, Syracuse, Virginia Tech.
And they continued.
Oh, look at that. Auburn, Miami, South Carolina, Memphis State, and at Florida.
Big games. Well, the streak continues today, Charlie. They've shown how tough they are. Good faking Peter Tom Willis.
They want more, and they're going to get it. Ron Lewis with the reception. Another big play by Florida State. Tahan Lewis makes the tackle, 37 yards.
PT's statistics on the day continue to climb. They're going to have to min up a whole bunch of those hatchets. Ball slightly underthrown, but Lewis comes back and picks it right off the back of Tahan Lewis. Watch the end of the play. Great faking.
Watching all the way. Good quarterback, but I got to tell you, Ron Lewis and Terry Anthony are 2 great wide receivers.
You better believe it.
Dexter Carter. He's got a yard. Mike Murray with the tackle. His numbers, a new Fiesta Bowl record. 393 yards, 4 touchdowns, and we still have 25 seconds to go in the third. Rewriting the record book.
Wayne McDuffie talked about the fact that Peter Tom Willis's performance this year in part due to the work done by Darrell Dickey, the quarterback coach. I think it's a TD.
Yes, it is. Another one.
Oh.
24 yards. And Terry Anthony has his second of the game. And Peter Tom Willis has thrown for 5.
Earlier in the year, he had 6 games where he passed for more than 300 yards. He continues the pace here today, setting more records as he finishes out this star-capped senior season.
The extra point is good.
And let's watch some of that footwork by Peter Tom Willis. That's the thing that Darrell Dickey, the quarterback coach, came in and worked with him on. Getting his feet set so that he could throw the good pass. Right there. Well, not perfect foot action, but look at the pass. Boy, what a great reception. Blittenkopf had set records at Florida State University. They talked about this young man, Terry Anthony, as having Blittenkopf hands. He has shown them many times today.
And you saw the numbers and the stars, the Fiesta Bowl record. Well, he broke Danny McManus's record of Florida State that he set 2 years ago against Nebraska.
Danny is saying, good. I thought he'd leave 1 or 2 of my records intact. Now, both our quarterbacks today. Godowski has also rewritten the record book, but today has been P.T. Willis's day.
2 seconds left to go in the third. Bill Mason to kick off. Leonis Flowers and Tyrone Hughes are the deep backs. High and short again. And it's taken by Chris Garrett, the tight end, as the third quarter comes to a close. Florida State 41, Nebraska 10. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Bobby Bowden in the last 7 bowl games, 6-0 and 1. That's just, you know, we talked about the fact that his son Terry is on the wire behind him, and he has another son, Tommy, who is assistant coach at Alabama. He's the Sugar Bowl, and his son Steve was just appointed the vice president of Flagler College in St. Augustine. He says, Steve, we overlook him because he's not in football. I said, but now we're going to talk to him because he hires and fires coaches. He's at that level. To the 16-yard line. There's a flag down at the 36. Carpenter with the tackle. 39 yards on the return. We'll check out the flag.
And we've got a second flag down at the end of the play, too, so a pair of flags to deal with. Great play by Leroy Butler. The officials will be talking that one over. Charlie, we talked about the rebuilding that was going on. Leroy Butler was a free safety. He and Dedrick Dodge, they moved him over the corner. They really didn't expect him to have a great year. He surprised everyone. He became an All-American at that corner position. Deion Sanders had been over there, an All-American, a first-round draft pick. Butler has cut his own swat.
The offensive team is declined. It'll be first down for the team that intercepted after a 15-yard penalty, 1st and 25.
So it's a post-interception foul. There'll be a foul at the end of the play. Holding will be declined. Great anticipation. Good block. Oh, on the backside. Wham! That one hurt.
And the Butler did it with the interception. That is his 8th of the season. I stole that line from Dexter Carter. I've got to tell you that. You know that. And also, you can't tell because the helmet, of course, but Leroy Butler has L's in, cut into his hair, and he says it's for the ladies love Leroy.
Well, a lot of folks are going to love Leroy after today. They're marking off the 15-yard penalty. Now, this was assessed after the first down was achieved, so it's going to be 1st and 25. Someone got a little rambunctious down there for Florida State toward the end of that play.
And the ball spotted at the Nebraska 37-yard line, just outside. They're back at the 38. Florida State leading 41-10. Double reverse. Well defense. Lawrence Dawsey ran into the Huskers, Mike Petco and Mike Murray.
You got to believe, Charlie, that there are a lot of folks down there saying, hey, we can fall for that stuff occasionally. But we know how to play this game, too. Charlie McBride's defense, Tom Osborne's team have had a great season. They will be unhappy to finish it this way. They're a proud team, Charlie. They really are.
2nd and 28 at the 41. Peter Thomas' flag is down. He's got it. Shannon Baker with the reception, but there was a marker back at the 46.
Holding call against Florida State again.
Holding or face mask?
Didn't see the signal. Was it face mask?
All right, here's the call from Jimmy Harper.
On the line of scrimmage, offensive face mask, 15 yards.
Let's go down to Jimmy Cephalo.
Charlie, there's a bit of an incentive for the Florida State players in a lot of ways here today. Yesterday, their strength coach, Dave Van Hallinger, suffered a heart attack. He's fine. He's resting comfortably in a hospital here in the Phoenix area. The coaches in the booth that are standing right above you taped a small cross to the window just to tell Dave that they're thinking about him. They hope he does well. And that bit of incentive has probably helped spark on this Florida State team.
Well, our prayers are with him, and so are ours, and I'm sure that the performance today of this team will help, too.
Dexter Carter. And he is stopped by John Reese. Just under 13 and a half minutes to go in this, the 19th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl.
This offensive line again clearing a massive hole inside. Mike Morris, number 60. Dexter Carter getting there in a hurry.
Third down.
To pick up the first down, Florida State must go to the 13-yard line. Ball is loose, and Nebraska has it.
All right, Charlie, I think they're going to say his arm had started forward. Peter Tom Willis's arm started forward. They're going to call it an incomplete pass.
Jeff Mills was there along with Kent Wells.
Watch the action of the arm. The quarterback will start his arm forward. It's hit as it moves forward there.
I'm not so sure. Not reviewable. I'm not so sure. I think the ball was knocked away clean.
Charlie,
It just started back.
There's a difference in college football. If the arm is moving forward, they will give the benefit to the quarterback. But I would agree with you that he may have knocked it out before it was even a pass motion.
And Joe Wimberly is second punt, and everybody is coming. He gets a good one off. It's taken by Tyrone Hughes, and he returns to the 23-yard line. 12:46, time remaining, and we'll be back in a moment.
90 Sunkist Fiesta Bowl is brought to you by the Sunkist family of products, where you can be sure of the highest quality every time. You have our word on it. By Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
This is Charlie Jones and Merlin Olsen. We're in Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium, the 19th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. And the Florida State Seminoles leading the Nebraska Cornhuskers 41-10 with 12:46 left to go. And a double reverse. And Tyrone Hughes is dropped by James Chaney. Florida State Seminoles last 9 games. That is to this point in time. They have outscored their opponents 344-107 against 6 defensive teams ranked in the top 8. Now Nebraska's the number 8 team.
The number 8 team, so you get a feeling for the quality and the reason that Bobby Bowden feels that his team deserves to be ranked higher than they are. And you know what? I think we would agree with him, and all who have watched his team perform today would certainly have some evidence.
Earlier we talked to Bobby Bowden about bowl games.
I do not prefer the playoffs. I like the bowls. Now, if they could ever work the playoffs within the bowls, I might be for that, but I don't say they could ever do that. No, the bowls are American heritage. As long as I can remember football, I remember bowls, and I'm not ready to see that go.
And I think he's making a statement in this bowl game.
Well, listen, if you can play as well in bowl games that Bobby Bowden's teams have played, you might feel that way about bowl games too.
Now, the scoreboard says 4th and 34 on the 47th. Now, perhaps they want to change the scoreboard. That might be the part of the problem. I'm guessing that might be part of the problem.
Calling to adjust the clock. Yes, there's an adjustment going in the clock right now.
Yeah. On that clock, it says 15 minutes. On the master clock, it has 12 minutes and 46 seconds. And it is 2nd down and 13. And while this is being sorted out, let's go down to Jimmy Cephalo.
Charlie, Kevin Grant, number 47, a linebacker for Florida State, is very fortunate. He's got his brother Bobby here. Bobby, a special situation. He's been in the Navy for many years, overseas, has not seen his mother in 13 years, and she's back in Ocala, Florida. Say something to her, Bobby.
I just like to say I love you and I miss you, and I'll see you real soon.
13 years, he's been trying to get enough money to go back to Ocala. Now he's able to do it at least through the television. Gentlemen?
All right, thank you. Nice way to start the decade. Thank you, Jim.
I bet there's all kinds of celebration going on at that house. Not only a great day for Florida State, of course, they'll be rooting for those folks on the far side of the field. And what color is that? It's not crimson, is it, Charlie? That's gold and...
Garnet and gold?
Garnet.
Garnet and gold?
Garnet and gold. Well, it's been a great day for the Garnet and gold.
Yes. And, of course, be sure to stay with us as we'll be going on to the Orange Bowl. Colorado, the Buffalo, against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And they know this statement has been made by Florida State. Look for another great one on NBC. Diving reception by Chris Garrett. And he has it at the 36-yard line. He'll pick up the first down. Leon Fowler had the coverage and a gain of 16. And there is the Orange Bowl, #1 Colorado against #4 Notre Dame, coming up as Championship Monday continues on NBC. And we hope you had a chance to see the halftime features that Bob Costas had for you during our ball game, setting up all the action, the two team reports, as we'll be going to the Orange Bowl. Right after we're through here, John Bostic pulls it down, and Bill Reagans pulls him down. Oh, yes, we're making the statement. #1, yes. Did I see one of the twins in there in that group? I still can't tell them apart.
The Ostazuki
twin, yes.
I'll tell you, it was funny that
Henry and Joe, one had a mustache that he shaved it off, and we had no chance.
I talked to them about being able to pick them apart, and Joe told me, he said, it's easy. He said, Henry's got a mustache. Well, yesterday, Henry shaved off his mustache, and I said, now what do I do? Well, it helps that they wear different numbers, Charlie.
They mark it complete at the 44-yard line. A flag is down. Flag dropped back at the 40. Chip Ball, the senior from Fremont. That's his first reception on the year, I believe. We'll double check this for you.
5 men lined up in the backfield.
5 in the backfield, so it'll be a race.
It looks like Howard Dinkins. No, it's James Chaney on the ground.
It is Chip Ball's first reception on the season. Let's take another look at it. He could put it on videotape and remember it.
Godowski's high school teammate. Glad to get one.
And you can tell from the background, all of a sudden, Arizona is Seminole country.
Yeah, you can see why when you look at those numbers. Peter Tom Willis has dominated today.
That number's wrong, too. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns.
5 TDs on the day.
Yeah.
Well, he's thrown them so fast, we've had a hard time keeping up with it.
Oh, yeah. That's right. The computer broke. Dropping Leotis Flowers.
Charlie, when we talked to Mickey Andrews, he said, we've got 2 big men on that line that can dominate, Odell Higgins and Eric Hayes, and they have done that. And very often during the day, they've been matched against the All-Americans, Tank Glazer and Jake Young. They've more than held their own.
Time remaining just over 10 minutes, and it's Florida State 41, Nebraska 10. Godowski pump fake, then he throws, and it's incomplete. He was looking to Tyrone Hughes. Hughes had come back as a flag. Hughes, I believe, had come back to help him, and he really wanted to wave him deep.
I think we're going to get a call against Errol McCorvey on that play. Took a shot at Tyrone Hughes after the ball had gone by him. Doesn't make any sense to do that. Some of the Nebraska players coming out quickly. They were going to take care of things themselves.
The officials from the Southeastern Conference, the referee is Jimmy Harper.
After the play is over, a dead ball, personal foul, 15-yard penalty, defensive team. It'll be an automatic first down, 15 from the previous spot.
Tyrone Hughes had lost his footing a little bit. There's no reason to take this hit. The play is dead. The play is dead.
Oh, there was a little hit on the sideline, too. It could get dangerous over there.
It could get dangerous.
So with the penalty, the ball comes out to the Florida State 48-yard line. First down.
There's still a lot of pride at stake here. Nebraska would like to get a few more points on the board. would like to get something going here. It's been a long, long second half for Tom Osborne and these Huskers.
Nebraska's last score came with just over 12 minutes to go in the first half. A loss of 2 by Godowski. Kurt Carruthers makes the tackle, and we have an injured player.
Eric Hayes again.
All right, let's take a look at all of the bowl scores. Auburn winning. Tennessee winning. Illinois winning. Those were all finals. Rose Bowl, Michigan and USC in the third. They're tied at 10. And here with 9:33 and counting time remaining. 41-10. And coming up right after our ball game, Championship Monday continues at the Orange Bowl. Colorado and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Great catch. What a great catch. Tyrone Hughes again, the receiver on that one.
And he's taking the beating over there.
He
right
sure did. The defender draped all around him on the sideline. Watch this great catch.
Carruthers.
That's Kurt Carruthers, who is wrapped around him like a mink coat. But it didn't bother Tyrone Hughes. Carruthers getting a hand up early and getting the top of the helmet. Tyrone Hughes pulling it down.
3rd down and 8. Nobody was there.
I said it early, Charlie, that it's much more difficult to get a team like Nebraska back up to speed after you've stopped. So much of what they do depends on every person on that offensive unit being at full speed. It's like getting a big turbine rolling. And when they get rolling, they grind a lot of people up in the process. When the turbine stops and you've got to restart it, it's hard to get everybody back up to that level of performance. And that was what Tom Osborne was worried about. He was right. It hasn't happened today.
Randy Bell, the last intended receiver. Mike Stiggy, the kicker. Nobody is back. A bad snap. He still gets it off. Oh, that's an excellent kick. Under adverse circumstances, it'll go inside the 5, all the way down to the 1-yard line. 44 yards under pressure. We'll be back in a moment. In Merlin Olsen, the 19th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, where we have just over 8 minutes left to go. And Florida State has the ball just outside their own 1-yard line. Officially, they'll call it the 2. Peter Tom Willis with 5 touchdown passes. He had 6 against Memphis State. And on that day, he threw for 482 yards. And the Seminoles want to take a timeout. So we'll join them. We'll have a timeout, and we'll come back in just a moment. To the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl, I'm Charlie Jones with Merlin Olsen. The bowl games, the end of the season, everybody's striving to be number 1 as we take a look here at the play. And it's incomplete. Should number 1 be decided by the bowls, by the regular season, by their opponents, by a playoff system? What are your thoughts?
Well, Charlie, I think if we're going to determine who the best team is at the end of the year, should be more determined by who's playing the best football. And if you do it that way, Florida State better be pretty close to the top of your list. I think that the thing that made Florida State most angry was the fact that people forgot so quickly about that big win they had over Miami. And Miami went back on top of them in the polls shortly.
Here's the draw, and Blease is out to the 5. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Questions about the schedule played by Nebraska this year. Tom Osborne himself, in our conversations with him, said, you know, the jury is still out because a lot of people knocked our schedule. No way that they set an easy schedule for themselves this year. That's just the way it worked out. Some of the teams that they'd scheduled were not playing great football. They had hoped to make a statement today. Unfortunately, not a statement they they're going to be very happy with, Charlie.
Not a positive statement.
Not a positive statement.
They're down at 7.
Does not detract from the quality of their program, however.
And the pass is complete to Shannon Baker. Mike Kroll with the tackle. And the ball goes to the 11-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 1. And the punting team will come out for Florida State. And the return team for Nebraska. Richard Bell and Tyrone Hughes are the 2 return men. And John Wimberly will be kicking. There are Bell and Hughes.
They're calling timeout for Nebraska now. Apparently not enough players on the field.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, there are 11.
They have 11.
They have 11.
And they call that timeout with 4 seconds on the 25-second clock.
Marvin Sanders is the man who called the timeout. Tom Osborne said, no, we really don't need a timeout right now. What we need to do is get that football, see if we can put a few points on the board. Well, and it looks like we're going to get a new quarterback. Mickey Joseph, sophomore out of Marion, Louisiana.
He has completed 4 out of 12 passes this year. Good kick. Takes a bounce. Hughes has it off of the bounce, and he is swarmed. 41 yards on the kick, and Bill Reagans was down on the coverage. We'll be back in just a moment. Away, Mickey Joseph came in at quarterback. He ran 1 play to the right side for no gain. Godowski came back in, then a pitch to Tyrone Hughes. That took the ball up to the 49-yard line, and it will be 3rd down and 8 right now. Pressure from the backside, and he gets away and throws it. It's caught. Richard Bell, a great reception.
And not a bad pass by Godowski. Godowski had 19 touchdown passes on the year, only 2 interceptions, an amazing percentage. Scrambling to his right. He throws much better going right than he does left. Watch the accuracy of this pass and the excellent catch you talked about.
23 yards on the play. Godowski intercepted once in this ball game. He's got changes in his offensive line. Boerboom, Shields, Edeel, O'Gara, and Ingstrom from tackle to tackle.
Tom Osborne wanting to get a lot of the troops into this ball game, give them a taste of the bowl experience. I think we'll see a lot of faces before the day is over now.
1st down at the 28.
And back pass.
And it is incomplete.
John Bostic running cross field was not even looking back at his quarterback, and Godowski went down hard.
And Terry Rogers is in the ball game. He was also down. Let's take another look.
Charlie, this is that hand back pass, specially developed for today, but it's so difficult to fool people when they know you're in trouble and you have to throw the football. They know the running game is not real. Godowski went down hard on that play.
And that was Joe Ostazuski who was putting the pressure on the quarterback. 2nd down.
Mickey Joseph back in the ball game now as Godowski goes to the sideline. He is quick. Very, very quick feet.
Only for a yard, and Dinkins gets it. But boy, he does have quick movements, doesn't he?
Would be a shame to let Jerry Godowski get out of here today without talking about a couple of the things he did during this season, Charlie. His 177.3 rating as a quarterback was higher than Jim McMahon's NCAA record of 1980, 176.9. But he only averaged 12.5 passes a game. Had he had 15 passes a game, he would have set a new single-season rating record.
Also, he is an academic All-American. Incomplete. John Bostic, the intended receiver.
Bostic, the Washington Prep Player of the Year out there in Bellevue, Washington. Charlie, one of the things I think that hurts Nebraska, the fact that they play all of their games on artificial turf. This is the only game they have played all year on natural turf. Last year, the only game they played on natural turf, UCLA. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it certainly is not going to make you more comfortable.
Flags are down, and the pass is incomplete. Hughes, the intended receiver.
I think we're going to have an offside call against Florida State, trying to guess on the snap count. They got up inside.
And we're inside of 4 minutes. 3:48, time remaining. Nebraska scored a touchdown on their first possession, and they had a punt Ruski in the middle of it. And then this is their 13th straight possession since
violates the neutral zone, defensive team. Be 4th down, replay the down.
This is their 13th straight possession since then without a touchdown. They did pick up a field goal. The Seminoles have controlled both sides of the football.
Eric Hayes yesterday. We talked about his nickname, Billy E. I said, where did that came from? Where did that come from? He said, Neon Deion Sanders gave it to me in a high school All-American game. I said, what does it mean? He said, I can't tell you that. He has been a big player today, and it really dominated.
Don't forget, Championship Monday continues. The Orange Bowl, as soon as we're through here, we'll be going down to the Federal Express Orange Bowl, Notre Dame in Colorado. We have a change at quarterback. Casey Weldon of Tallahassee, a sophomore, is now the quarterback. And Paul Moore is the carrier. And if dropped by Kent Wells.
Charlie, you think you're going to get a break when the second quarterback comes in there. The longest touchdown pass of the year by Florida State, not by Peter Tom Willis, an 88-yard pass by Casey Weldon. So he can throw it too.
But let's not go away without looking at the final numbers of Peter Tom Willis. We'll do that right after this play. And amply, and the numbers of Peter Tom Willis. 25 of 39, Fiesta Bowl record 423 yards, Fiesta Bowl record 5 touchdowns, and notice, no interception. And that's 25 touchdowns on the season, and a total of only 9 interceptions on the season. I'll vote for my most valuable player. Will you join me?
I don't think there's even a contest.
That's right. It's unanimous. Casey Weldon. And it's incomplete. And all of the people involved in our telecast, from executive producer Terry O'Neill, coordinating producer Ted Nathanson, today's Fiesta Bowl produced by Larry Cirillo, directed by Richard Klein, George Finkel, our replay director, Mike Stramiski, our technical director, David Banks, our associate director, Carol Larson, our production associate, Bill Pernello, our technical manager, our production managers, Chuck Bond, Carl Geller, Ralph McFarland, Lisa Stock, and blocked. And Nebraska falls to the ball.
Unblocked by number 88.
Fran Bellini and Ellis Tooney are our stage manager, and Dennis Venetian, our outstanding statistician.
Charlie, if you're from Nebraska, you say, we can't even get this right. We get a block and we can't get it into the end zone. It looked like it would be picked up and carried in for a touchdown, but they couldn't get the handle on it.
And this is all the people that made it fun and possible to start a new decade here on NBC. Chris Anderson and Brian Mand, our spotters. And Nebraska with an opportunity to end on a high note as Terry Rogers carries, and even more of our technical support. And as you can tell, it takes so many people to make all of it happen. And we have a crew waiting for you at the Orange Bowl in Miami that are just a minute 57 away. They're getting anxious to get going down there. So be sure to stay with us, because Florida State has certainly made a statement here today.
They really have. Be very proud of what they've done on the field. It would appear that Mike Kroll, the man to block that kick, Charlie, he's had a big day today.
And at the top of the telecast, one of the things we talked about, these are two outstanding football teams, two great programs.
It's a shame someone has to lose in a game like this. It'll be taken hard by that man, but his consistency, he'll never let his emotions take over in a situation like this. He said that this team had been one that he'd been extremely proud of, had come as close to living up to his expectations and their potential as any he's ever coached. Unfortunately, they weren't able to finish out on the high notes that they had set during this great season.
And Terry Rogers is stopped short. Oliver Strickland is there.
You'd like to see him get it into the end zone,
Yes,
put a few more points up.
You would, yes.
A hard game for seniors, a last game for seniors, and there are a lot of them on the field. A much happier game for Florida State seniors. And there are 14 starters who will not be with the Seminoles next year.
Mickey Joseph, does he make it? Yes, he does. From 2 yards out.
A nice shot of Leroy Butler congratulating Mickey Joseph. Fake inside, nobody home. Young quarterbacks with good feet, good legs, like to run the football. Boy, he does a good job outrunning Kirk Carruthers to the corner.
And watch it. And one of the officials, too.
Exactly. Better get out of the road. You don't want to get cut down.
Greg Barrios with Jerry Dunlap holding. Perfect snap by Roger Fiske. 41-17 with a minute 16 left to go.
Got to be the longest fourth quarter of the year, maybe of all time, for these Nebraska players.
Who do you like in the Orange Bowl? Notre Dame. I just thought of that. No, I'm thinking, that's.
I'll tell you,
that could really be an
Charlie. I would love to have been in Colorado's situation if Notre Dame had still been #1. They were trying to take it away from them.
Yeah.
I think it's harder to maintain a championship than it is to take one away from someone. I think it's nice to be motivated by that. We've got to get them emotionally, and that's the difference in the game. Easier to go after someone. It's been an emotional day for those gentlemen right there, Peter Tom Willis.
And they have made a statement that we're #1.
Well, and you got to love what they've been able to do today. Bobby Bowden saying, let's not get penalized now, moving his troops back along the sideline.
Would you venture an onside kick here?
Why not?
Has to go 10 yards.
They got it. They've got it.
Did it go 10 yards, or was it touched by a return man?
They're saying it was touched by one of the return people, and I think it was.
Travis Hill was there for Nebraska.
It looked like Reggie Johnson, number 80, that may have touched that ball for Florida State. But one of the Florida State players had his hands on it. Let's watch the play. Just a little roller right down in front. No, it's 22 that gets his hands on it initially.
Edgar Bennett.
Edgar Bennett, fullback.
Nebraska.
Reggie Johnson, one of the players that tried to jump over there and recover it.
Nebraska at their own 43 with a minute 14. And And Florida State is going to take a timeout. And let's go back to the onside kick. You know the rule. It has to go 10 yards or be touched by one of the return team.
It is short of the 10 yards, but there is the touching right there by Edgar Bennett, number 22.
And Travis Hill, the freshman from Pearland, Texas.
Backup linebacker.
Fourth quarter in the Rose Bowl. The score still tied, Michigan and USC at 10.
Now, if Michigan loses, Miami loses. How many people have to lose for Florida State to get that #1 spot?
More than possible.
More than there are possible. Well, I think maybe you're right.
Mickey Joseph turns, fires, is there. He goes to John Bostic at the 45-yard line. The clock is stopped for the first down, moving the chains. Terrell Buckley making the tackle.
What's up, Norman?
Still over just a minute to go. The ball at the Florida State 45-yard line. Rogers spinning his way to the 42. Terry Rogers from National City, California, junior, son of the Heisman Trophy winner. Yes.
Charlie, I think it would be right for us to take a moment to thank Pep Cooney and all of the Fiesta Bowl committee for their hospitality during this week. We've enjoyed the great festivities of this game, being a part of the action, being with these two teams. They're fine academic people as well as their athletic people.
And of course, Bruce Skinner, the executive director of the Sunkist Fiesta Bowl. Mickey Joseph stopped by Kurt Carruthers.
And it might be a good idea, since it is the first day of the year, to wish everyone out there a most happy and prosperous beginning to this decade of the 90s. It's been a delightful time we've had this year.
Yeah.
And it's not over yet. More football coming.
It is incomplete, stopping the clock with 8 seconds.
We have an offsides call against Florida State. Delay the play slightly. Eric Hayes, I think, a little eager.
Meanwhile, all is in readiness at the Orange Bowl. Colorado and
so hard waiting.
Oh, yeah. Defensive team, violation, neutral zone, 5-yard penalty.
And Championship Monday will continue. We're only seconds away from Colorado and Notre Dame. The Buffaloes and the Fighting Irish, Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh are there. The pass is incomplete, and the game is over. Bostic, the intended receiver. At the end of the first quarter, Nebraska led 7-0. Florida State led at halftime 21-10, and then 41-10 after 3, and the final is 41-17. Florida State downing Nebraska in this, the 19th Sunkist Fiesta Bowl.
A record setter, Peter Tom Willis, whose dream of playing professional football, I think, will become a reality. He's shown those special skills today.
He completed 25 of 39. He threw for a record 423 yards, and also he completed a record 5 touchdown passes.
Florida State laying claim to at least the unofficial title. They said we're playing the best football in the country right now. And they've gone out on the field today, and I think they may have proved it.